Then guys, I hope you're all doing alright. Better than I am. Start off with fucking glaucoma and now I've got COVID. Unbelievable. Probably worst year for me on record, but as on a bait front, shit's getting real when it comes to this now. We're getting rid of enough of it. Right, this is what I wanted to show you is something that I've not shown you much is the actual base mixers that I do. It's the boilies that I make. They've got no shop bought base mixers and whatsoever apart from the pop-ups. The pop-ups, I've actually made pop-up mixers myself before, but they're not a patch on the best companies pop-up makes. You know what years I've been rolling bait now, which is getting on probably about 12 to 14 years, has been Polaris pop-up mix. Without a doubt is the best one out there. I've used them all from that streamer baits to Nutra baits. I've used CC Moors. I've used them all, and Polaris pop-up mix is definitely by far the best. Now, so what we've done here is we've just knocked 10 kilo of dry mix up, because I've got quite a bit of bait to actually roll, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, with this COVID, what I've got at the minute, it's kinda, the only way I can explain it to you, I know this is not to do with bait, but I thought I'd explain it to you for yours that I had it, is it's just like a really bad flu. But it's coming and going. I feel alright one minute and then next minute I feel really bad. I mean, I felt alright earlier on while I was doing all this, but now it's come to cleaning all this mess up, I feel right rough. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that I could do with an hand really, or far less. It's just whenever it's in a mess kitchen and it needs tidying up, I feel ill then. Now, I feel right as rain. Now it's right as rain, guys. Right then, so I'll bring you in and show you what we've got here. What we've got here, I'll tell you what I've got in this. Right, it's got biomass in it from CC Moore. It's got maize meal, semolina, corn flour. It's rice flour. What else have they got in it? Chickpea flour, tiger nut crumb, salt, quite a bit of salt, and then it's got a fair. The reason I'm telling you this is because without the right measurements, it goes tits up. I'm telling you now. It's got a fair amount of fish meal in it, and a lot of fish meal. You'll actually see that in it, and then it's got a decent amount of bloodworm in it. Now the bloodworm is a dried bloodworm, but I didn't want to add too much of that to the actual dry mix. I would much rather have that in the eggs. So, and I'm gonna start doing these as well, guys. But it's pretty enough going to be as much as what the pop-ups are. But if you enjoy rolling your own bait, then it's well worth it. It's going to be about $5 a kilo for a mix, a dried mix. For this dried mix, about £5 a kilo, which is pretty good. It's full of goodness. It's full of really high quality, good company stuff as well. Which, as far as I'm concerned, it's CC Moore of the company, without a doubt. Oh, it's also got some Belacan in there as well. But I do love the krill, the biomass krill as well. It's not a dried. It's not a dried. The biomass krill, it's not. When you get it, it looks like a dry powder. It ain't a dry powder. Some of it is, but if you put it in the palm of your hand and you smudge it, it goes to like a oily. It just smudges. So that's where we're at with these. Now this is, and believe me, honestly, guys, this is. It's took me quite a while to come up with a bit. I mean, you can see the actual. Maize in there. You can see bits of bloodworm. You can see it's a really nice dried base mix. Now there's a lot going on in there. Hell of a lot going on in there, but it's took me a while to get to that. It ain't at all stick them all in a bowl and jobs are good. And it's a real ball ache trying to get them all to the exact right measurements, so it's easy to roll. And it ain't as easy as what some people make out. So what we do with that is we bang lid on, and then we just keep rotating it, and that will give it these buckets hold. This is how much I've got ordered at the minute, which I've got to roll in next couple of days. This is a fair bit here. That's got to be done in the next couple of days. So plenty of work for that, dear. Now I've just ordered some more bags as well, because we're getting low on bags that are getting me rid of my baiting. But like I say, if you're wanting a base mix and you're starting out making bait, then there's probably no better base mix than you could buy this and add to this itself. Now the measurements are key. It's the reason I don't mind telling you a few of the things that are in it, but the measurements are key to it being alright and binding together. Now I have a separate base mix for my fruit baits, which is solely coconut based. So we always put fish meal on top of that, so I know, because if not, you end up rolling bait with coconut in it and all sorts. But that's in the past I've come up with really good baits. Now the first lot of this I rolled it with a coconut base mix, and that's what the guys been using who have been catching on it. So, but I wanted to take it over to the next level to do with full value. We're coming out of winter now, so let's face it, it's not about attraction. Attraction's still there. It's got bloodworm. The wet ingredients, the bloodworm I'm adding to it, is natural attraction and the krill. It is not. Yeah, I have had the lid come off before on me as well, by the way, guys. So if that's something you're thinking that, and it ain't pretty. So there we go. That's the dried mix. That's a dried mix, and I had a company today offer to roll some bait for me, which I'm really glad. I'm really happy that they did that, to be perfectly honest with you. It's not a route that I go down myself. I've got plenty of mates that would give me an hand, to be perfectly honest with you. But I do like to do it myself, because I'm a little bit, now I know this company's pretty good, you know what I mean? They're a pretty good company, so I know that they're not going to do a shite job. But I like to do bait, I like to roll my own bait for the simple reason of there's certain things I like to do to it that towards the rolling process is this, with this COVID, it kind of out of breath really bad, seriously. And it's fucking scary, honestly. It's nah, as far as I'm concerned, working with flowers done well, I'll be honest with you. It's my nan's got COPD for working with flowers. I fucking work with him all my life in cafe, and now I'm working with him again. So I definitely think that helped me as well, you know, being a cook life for all them years. And the best thing, I go from being a cook in a cafe working with flowers, different flowers in baking and making quiches and cakes and stuff like that, to becoming a fucking joiner, and I'm working with MDF. So my smoked as well, you know what I mean? So my chest is shot through. Used to smoke when I was young. I used to smoke stuff, you know what I mean? So it's I still eat stuff. I just don't smoke it anymore. But the thing is it's done my chest no good. But this is definitely gets to your breathing 100%. You can get out really tired fast as well. So we're where we're at now with that is that's pretty much done. That's a beautiful base mix, and like I said, it's a if anybody wants any, then I will sell it to them. But it's honestly, get a bit of, if you're struggling for, if you've got a bit of money, then there's no point buy bait, especially at the prices that I'm doing here, right? You know what I mean? Majority of kids that buy off me, I've known a long time, so well, I don't do it. I don't. It's, I'm doing them at the price I think fucking bait should be sold at. It's ridiculous what some companies are charging £16 a kilo and £15 a kilo and all that shite. It's just craziness. So it's I know that's to do with postage. It's all to do with postage. It's same as that when you get bait companies that'll say to you, we are looking for we are now looking for team members to join our expanding team of bait representatives on the bank. Must have camera experience, must be able to take a good photo, and must be able to do a good write-up and fish at least 48 hours a week. We would all love to be able to do that, matey. Do you know what I mean? But if I were going to be doing that, I'd want paying for it. It's the reason I put that on my page when I very first started doing bait to see how many would respond to it. And a hell of a lot of people responded to it. I messaged them all back and told them what the crack was. That it's a con. It's a con by bait companies to get you to think that you're a little bit special. You fish for a bait company and all this bollocks. Unless you're getting your bait for free, then you're not getting nothing off that bait company, nothing whatsoever. Even if they say you're getting it at a cheaper rate, you are not getting it at a cheaper rate. If you were to message that company and ask them for 5 kilo a bait, and then you said, oh, I'm not paying that, I can get it for so and so, I can get it for the same rate you're getting it at, say £6 a kilo, they'll say to you, well, we can do it at £6 a kilo. It's don't fall into that trap, honest to God, seriously. Don't fall into that trap, because all you're doing is, they're laughing at you behind your back. I can tell you that now. And I was told that by a fairly big company they're actually from Sheffield, but I think they're based in Rotherham. But don't fall into that trap, guys, honestly. It's... You're not doing them any favours. You have to commit to doing it, and you've got to commit to going out 48 hours a week. Now, when I'm fishing Rother Valley, there were a couple of lads on there that actually fish for sticky baits. Now, you wouldn't believe they were selling the bait that they were getting for free. They were selling the bait. And guess what they were doing? Taking the bait that me and my brother had. It's honest truth. There's no word of like that either. So it just shows you, doesn't it? Sticky Baits is a great company, don't get me wrong. Sticky Baits is a great company. But if you are in the mindset of Sticky Baits or a better company than say we are, because we're doing it in his kitchen, it's absolute nonsense at all. All you've got to do, right, is get a nutritional calculator, and if you're using a kilo of maize flour, find out the nutrition in that kilo of maize flour, find out the nutritional value in a 500 gram bag of krill, divide that up into what's actually in your base mix, and then also what you add into your eggs, and then work out what the end calorie content is in that bait. And take my word for it, honestly, I ain't gonna tell you. But take my word for it. It is a very, very high nutritional bait. It is the fish meal ones. Now the nut baits that I do, it's probably as high. Because as we all know, a bag, I think, hang on. Right then, let's take this into account then, yeah? So it's saying here, this is 125 gram of cashew nuts, which I don't use cashew nuts, I use tiger, I use peanut, and I use coconut, desiccated coconut, which is it's in oil, so it's really through the roof levels are it with calorie content. So just work this out then. Just all you've got to do, right, is look at the fat, look at everything that's in it, carbohydrates, everything. I mean, look at meal. The thing to look at is look at mealworm. Honestly, I researched mealworm yesterday for about an hour, and it is unbelievable how much stuff is in that goodness dried mealworm. It's unbelievable, honestly. So we've got in 1/5 of a pack, 1/5 of an 125 gram pack of cashew nuts is 156 calories in 1/5 of a pack that is 125 gram. Now, in my fruit baits, I use 500 gram of peanuts that have been soaked in coconut milk and 250 gram of tiger nuts that have been soaked in coconut milk. But they've already been prepared, so they're in that gluggy, gluey stuff as well. And then they're blitzed down into a dust and added to the eggs, which, when treated right, they'll last for around probably a week if they're looked after right. But when I'm using tiger nuts and peanuts in summer, when I know people are going to be out for far longer and temperatures are hotter, I go with a straightforward tiger nut that has been it's been dried and then crumbed, and then once the bait's air dried, it lasts us for far longer. So that's just a few factors that you need to look at when you're doing bait. It's really interesting, honestly. I mean, it's take this for example. This is an additive that I'm really love at the minute. This is chickpea flour. Now, the calories content of this is again, it's quite high. You know what I mean? It's all you've got to do is look for a mole, and take my word for it. When you come down to weighing that up to how much calories are in each kilo, it's a fair bit. You know what I mean? So they're all really good quality baits that I've got out there, and it's just whether you want to do it or not. And I kind of feel that sometimes it's like I sometimes feel I do my bait too cheap, but then again, I only do it to look kids locally to me, so I can afford to do it a little bit cheaper because they fetch it from me. Whereas if we're posting it, the money it would go up, the price of bait would go up. There's no doubt about that. But at the minute, I'm quite happy with what I'm getting from it, and I'm happy to see that people are catching on it. So that's about where it's at. So that's it, guys, for today. We're just sort of rest at kitchen, aren't we? This is how I buy my maize meal. 25 kilogram sacks of it. And it's really nice, honestly. It's a nice maize meal. It took me a long time to get a maize meal I was happy with as well. It's beautiful maize meal. And then again, the semolina I use is good old East End. Now, there's enough food value in those two to keep you occupied enough. I mean, let's face it, majority of third world countries are living on that stuff, so there you go. So that's the new base mix for the, well, it's not new, it's one what I use with KBS, which I know is a nice base mix, so it's the new base mix. Write everything down as well. Every single thing you put, even if it's a palm of salt, just a palmful of salt, try if you can to weigh it and write down, because it can make a massive difference to the overall. And if you go out and you have it off big time on a pit that's low stocked, and you ain't wrote down exactly measurements, believe me, you'll go the time after thinking you've done the same bait and something will be slightly different. You may still have fish, but you may not have as many. So always be wary and write stuff down. Definitely on that as well. So that's the whale's breath one. It's just little notes. It's little notes what I make myself all the time. You know what I mean? It's I've got a boat like that now, full of them like, but So that's me second bag of maize meal in. I'm getting through it. Let's just say we're getting through it. But it's at this rate, something's gonna have to change to do with we're doing it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to sort something out. Long term wise, if it carries on the way it is, then something's gonna have to change long term wise in where we're gonna be rolling it and what we're gonna be doing. But I've already a few ideas in store for that, and it ain't gonna be into some unit and hiring a big unit. You know what I mean? I used to be a joiner, so it's just a case of I think I'm gonna build a hut that goes all the way along top of my garden, and then I think I'm gonna pay to have a pond fitted. More than likely this summer, all the way down one side of it, and realised ponds as well. So, but I'm gonna try and get it done right. I want to pay to get it done if possible, but I want it raised out of railway sleepers, so I can get some nice carp in there, and all they're gonna get fed is my bait. That's it, nothing else. My bait. So we'll get them on that, and then I can do a monthly weighing of them and see how much they're gaining, if they're losing, if something's not productive in there, or if something's really does get the retention faster. So it's all happening. So just keep your eye out on it and see what's happening on my page. Right, take it easy, guys. See you later.